So a man and a woman stopped at the Kentucky Fried Chicken to pick up some supper, and they bought 2 chicken dinners, took them to a picnic area not far away. But when they opened the bag, they found a lot more than chicken. There were bundles of money in the bag. So honest guy that he was, the man drove back to KFC and he returned the money. You can imagine the manager was absolutely ecstatic as he explained what had happened. He had been working in the back. He had put all the day's proceeds in one of the chicken takeout bags and set it aside ready to go to the bank. When the woman working the counter reached over to get the order, she grabbed the wrong bag. The manager was so impressed with the man's honesty that he said, "I'm going to call the local paper. We've got to have them come over and get a photo of you two. Folks need to know there are still honest people in the world." He quickly responded, "Please, please, 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 please don't do that." His tone was not false humility, but his tone was panic for a good reason. He pulled the manager aside and whispered in his ear, "I'm married, and the woman I'm with is not my wife." The best way I know to describe that guy is honest cheater. Just file that away in the back of your memory brain. Tonight, we're going to see somebody else holding a bag who might have been an honest cheater. And we'll wrestle with it a little bit and have some fun with it. As is a lot of the case, and I've done this a couple of times, and since we've been studying Joseph, Genesis 42 is not the kind of thing that you just break up and read 4 verses. It just doesn't work. So if you will indulge, I'm going to go ahead and read Genesis 42, and then we'll talk our way through it together. So if you've got a text at your disposal, I'm going to be reading out NIV, Genesis chapter 42. Actually, one of the older NIV, which is really cool. All right, when Jacob learned that there was grain in Egypt, he said to his sons, "Why do you just keep looking at each other?" He continued, "I have heard that there is grain in Egypt. Go down there, buy some for us that we may live and not die." Then 10 of Joseph's brothers went down to buy grain from Egypt. But Jacob did not send Benjamin, Joseph's brother, with the others, because he was afraid that harm might come to him. So Israel's sons were among those who went to buy grain, for the famine was in the land of Canaan also. Now Joseph was the governor of the land, the one who sold grain to all its people. So when Joseph's brothers arrived, they bowed down to him with their faces to the ground. As soon as Joseph saw his brothers, he recognized them, but he pretended to be a stranger, and he spoke harshly to them. "Where do you come from?" he asked. "From the land of Canaan," they replied, "to buy food." Although Joseph recognized his brothers, they did not recognize him. Then he remembered his dreams about them, and he said to them, "You're spies. You've come to see where our land is unprotected." "No, my lord," they answered. "Your servants have come to buy food. We are all the sons of one man. Your servants are honest men, not spies." "No," he said to them, "you have come to see where our land is unprotected." Again they replied, "Your servants were 12 brothers, the sons of one man who lives in the land of Canaan. The youngest is now with our father, and one is no more." Joseph said to them, "It is just as I told you, you are spies, and this is how you will be tested. As surely as Pharaoh lives, you will not leave this place unless your youngest brother comes here. Send one of your number to get your brother, and the rest of you will be kept in prison, so that your words may be tested to see if you're telling the truth. If you're not, then as surely as Pharaoh lives, you are spies." He put them all in custody for 3 days. On the 3rd day, Joseph said to them, "Do this and you will live, for I fear God. If you are honest men, let one of your brothers stay here in prison, while the rest of you go and take the grain back for your starving households. But you must bring your youngest brother to me, so that your words may be verified and that you do not die. This the day, and that you won't die." And this they proceeded to do. They said to one another, "Surely we are being punished because of our brother. We saw how distressed he was when he pleaded with us for his life, But we would not listen, and that's why this distress has come upon us. Reuben replied, Didn't I tell you not to sin against this boy? But you wouldn't listen, and now we must go give accounting for his blood. Of course, they didn't realize that Joseph could understand them since he was using an interpreter. He turned away from them, he began to weep. But then he turned back and he spoke to them again. He had Simeon taken from them, bound before their eyes. Joseph gave orders to fill their bags with grain, to put each man's silver back in his sack, and to give them provisions for their journey. And after this was done for them, they loaded their grain on the donkeys and left. And at the place where they stopped for the night, one of them opened his sack to get feed for his donkey, and he saw silver in the mouth of his sack. My silver has been returned, he said to his brothers. Here it is, right here in my sack. Their hearts sank. They turned to each other with trembling, and they said, What is this that God has done to us? When they came to their father Jacob in the land of Canaan, they told him all that had happened to them. And they said, This man is Lord over the land. This man who was Lord over the land spoke harshly to us, treated us as though we were spying on the land. But we said to him, We are honest men. We are not spies. We are 12 brothers, sons of one father. One is no more. Now the youngest is with our father in Canaan. Then the man who was Lord over the land said to us, This is how I know whether you are honest men. Leave one of your brothers here with me. Take food for your starving household and go. But bring your youngest brother to me, so I will know that you are not spies but honest men. Then I'll give your brother back to you, and you can trade in the land. And as they were emptying their sacks, there in each man's sack was his pouch of silver. And when they and their father saw the money pouches, they were frightened. Their father Jacob said to them, You have deprived me of my children. Joseph is no more, Simeon is no more, and now you want to take Benjamin. Everything's against me. Me. Then Reuben said to his father, You may put both of my sons to death if I do not bring him back to you. Entrust him to my care, I will bring him back. Jacob said, My son will not go down there with you. His brother is dead, he's the only one left. If harm comes to him on the journey you're taking, you will bring my gray head down to the grave in sorrow. All right. I think I